Like Gibbs White is the most important player for the Nottingham Forest we just spoke about now.
Yeah.
Wow.
He quite literally is their best player.
Okay, wow. Okay, I don't talk wow again. The right one, wow. It must be the change you wish to see in the world, according to Mahatma Gandhi. All our dreams come true if we have the courage to pursue them. But Disney said that build your own dreams or someone else will hire you to build theirs. Those were the words of Farah Gray. Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts, according to Winston Churchill. In my second season, I usually win things. Ange Postecoglou. Those are some of the greatest quotes of all time. And on this episode of OnlyFootball podcast, we'll be diving into the implications from the sides of the neutral and the side of the vanquished. Speaking of vanquished, Izuchukwu is here, Joba Ogunwale is here, Ayoola Kelechi is here, Faruq Ibrahim is here, and I'm going to office Tunde, bringing you episode 15 of the greatest show on earth. Clap it up, ladies and gentlemen. The dots will be dead. We are very much alive. We're like Manchester United. We are going to talk about all of that. So what happened in Bilbao? Izu is here to give us first-hand accounts. We'll be talking about that. We'll also be previewing the UEFA third place competition, whatever it's called. I don't know, so I forgot. But Faruq is very clearly proud to be in it, and he's dressed in his Real Betis regalia. Where they'll be taking on.
Maybe Chelsea will play.
Not Chelsea.
Yeah, like one of us is proud to be playing it. That's the difference. I'm trying to not tell people that I'm playing.
like say you get choice.
Our season does not depend on it, don't like. But yeah, a lot has happened in the world of football this week. I'll also be looking forward to next week. Over the next 40, and if I want to piss off our producers, 50 minutes. We've introduced ourselves. We've told you what we want to talk about. It's time to dive into it. What happened in Bilbao? Izu.
In the words of the great Nigerian chess master, hope is not a strategy. Tunde Onokoya. And that was what happened. You know, Manchester United went to Bilbao with hope. But hope does not play football. You know, and that is what we found out, right? So we have a manager who is not interested in changing anything about whether he's crashing or not. He will continue to crash. He believes in that, you know. And sadly, I predicted that United were going to win. I knew that we were going to concede, and the only way to, some people felt clean sheet will happen. I don't understand where they were thinking that from, but it didn't happen. You know, all my predictions, Amorim and his boys decided to throw it into the gutters. You know, so I think it's probably the best way for it to end, because I think we've been here before, and every single time a cup or a title has clouded Manchester United fans, you know. So remember I told you that win or not, it doesn't say anything about the future, you know. But for most of them who were totally into the Europa League final because of Champions League ticket and so on and so forth, not winning it has, you know, cleared all the fog in their eyes, you know. So I guess the team that wanted it most, Tottenham coach came in. We know how they play, but in this particular game, they played a different way. Amorim expected them to play their style, but you see, adapting to the situation you find yourself, and I think that is going to be Amorim's biggest problem. He might still get this team to still play the way he wants, but in the Premier League, if you do not learn to adapt, they will mess you up, because even Pep Guardiola himself had to adapt at some point, you know. So if you decide that you want to be stubborn with your style, then Premier League will show you why it's the most reactive league in the world.
How mentally strong or even insane does a person have to be as the manager of Tottenham after an underwhelming first season in August, say in my second season I I think he said I
usually
no,
win
he did
things.
not.
He initially said
said
I
I
usually.
usually.
No, but he changed
He
his
later
statement,
changed in his-
to I always win.
Yeah, in the sense he said I usually
Usually,
he
yeah.
not gonna say I usually win things, and he was pressed about it in September when he don't declare saying he said this is not a season of winning things, and he doubled down. He said I don't usually win things. In my second year, I always win things. Nothing has changed.
Sure for now.
Like that is.
Jose Mourinho.
I was going to go more like a dictator, but
What's the difference?
fair, like fair. Anyway, is this the greatest football coach of all time?
Yeah, possibly. It's go down as one, especially as you beat Manchester United today. That Manchester United, there is a lot of media attention on Manchester United, so there's going to be staying power. So yeah, it's going to go down as one of the greatest coaches of all time. I mean, he's right. He's a serial winner. He might be doing it at Yokohama and Melbourne City. But winning is winning. He did it at Celtic as well. And he did it at for Australia. Beat him in Son. So the serial winner, he did what the likes of Antonio Conte and Osimhen could not do. He won a trophy for Tottenham Hotspur. So I know Joba is going to remind us that they sacked Mourinho before the final. But he did it here. Congratulations to Ange Postecoglou.
Yeah, congratulations to Ange Postecoglou. This season has sort of been a season of trophy droughts ending. Go Ahead Eagles won their first trophy in 93 years with the Dutch Cup. 70 years drought ended for Newcastle with the EFL Cup win against Liverpool. Bologna beat Milan in the Italian Cup final to win their first trophy in 51 years. You know, obviously Harry Kane's first trophy with Bayern Munich as well. Crystal Palace first ever trophy, I think.
Yeah, first ever.
By beating Manchester City in the FA Cup, which we will talk about very soon now, because Izu was the only person to predict that correctly, and that has becoming a pattern on this show.
Except for his dog.
To be fair, he did not bring it that one. He was just okay, like he said. It was
No,
okay.
he did. He said Amorim was spank.
I was speaking based on.
No. He said he wants them to win.
Oh, it is what he wanted and informed.
No,
the
he said
league.
Amorim will slap. He said it's
Yeah, that's the thing now. When you want something to happen, it now feeds your. If his club was not involved, he would have looked at it and predicted.
Are you defending him this aggressively? You sound like an Izu star right now.
I'm an Izu
You know
star.
how much Izu don't chop for me.
Yeah, I'm an Izu star. Absolutely. Izu has done so many predictions right on this show.
How many games have you bet on one?
Yes, it's only the last one. I told you I was going to put 1K on Crystal Palace. I wish I did more than 1K. But I told you I was going to do
How much was the return?
It was 7K.
Oh, that's
So,
nice.
Riches.
Are you?
Where are we going after the podcast?
Hopefully to our house. Yeah, but Crystal Palace shocked Manchester City, and I don't know. I was shocked by the result.
We've moved on from Manchester United that quickly. I thought there was more to say. Like,
Okay,
More cooking?
What's more to say? What's next for you?
and you
What's
see
next
that
for you?
you did call it the greatest football final of all time, and it did not even live up.
No, I didn't say that in terms of
You even
gameplay.
he said the stakes.
Yeah,
I mean, the
yeah.
stakes are still high, or they are still the same as they were.
Exactly. That has always been it. You win the Europa League, you make the Champions League.
Yeah, and
No, but we've never seen the final where the two teams had the exact equal amount of motivation to win this. It was a case of whoever doesn't win this, your season looks significantly worse on paper and even in real life. United fans and even the club in general now have to, in the aftermath of that defeat, now have to now sit down and tell themselves the truth. You have played an entire season, you are 16th, you have 39 points from 37 games.
Yeah, sorry.
There's no European football coming to
The
say
clouds
there's
are
nothing
out.
else to look forward
The
to.
only way they can end this season on high is if they lose to Villa on Sunday,
How is that ending?
and then ensure that
Chelsea
that
don't
process-
qualify.
Chelsea do not qualify.
But how is that ending this season? At least Chelsea can also still qualify by beating on conference.
Sure. I want to ask you is there something. What do you think about Amorim's decision to play Bruno Fernandes deeper? I feel like Bruno is one of the best attacking midfielder in world football, and it's better if you play him closer to goal. I guess that he influences play more generally when he plays deeper. He gets more touches and he can spread passes. But Bruno Fernandes' best qualities are his shooting and his final ball. So it sounds to me like it makes more sense to play an attacking midfielder in the final thought. So, what do you think about the current playing?
I think it's one of the problems I have as a Manchester United fan because I don't know who they are going to sign right now that is a better attacking midfielder than Bruno Fernandes. Messi Mount the Chris. Yes.
I mean, he has a lot of health issues, but I don't think mental problem is part of it.
Only because it's actually crazy. This is a guy, I refer to Bruno Fernandes as a sniper. Do you understand? So, for example, let's use PSG. They had a centre forward issue. What did they do? Dembele. Right? We've seen Arsenal, for all the trolling in the world, right? They had a centre forward problem. Merino. Then we had a manager who had Bruno Fernandes who can comfortably score 20-30 goals or even give you more. And what did he do? He dropped him deeper.
That just doesn't make sense to me.
How?
I think it's generally it's a reflection of what he thinks of his other midfielders. He has people like Ugarte, he has people like Casemiro, and it's clear that he doesn't trust them with.
It wasn't not the manager that decided that Maino should play as in a more offensive role.
As a 10.
That's the point.
He even played Maino.
Was Maino injured for that final?
I'm seeing Lenny Euro get chances on the edge of the box. Chances that if Bruno Fernandes gets this ball, like they are seeing midfielders that this should be where Bruno Fernandes
we have an identity problem because even right now, we don't know what Maino is anymore. Like, as a United fan, what is Maino now?
Best position.
Yes, nobody knows anymore. We don't know if he's a CM. We don't know if he's an AM. We don't know if he's a centre.
Go on to the scene as a deep line playmaker.
Beautiful, and when you're saying, for me, if you are telling me that it says what or it tells me what Amorim thinks about his midfield, that is a problem of the coach.
Yeah.
Because for me, if you have Ugarte, you have Casemiro, you have Eriksen, you have Maino, right? Bro, I do not care how bad you think these four people are. Yeah, you have to find a way to at least get to play football in a way that allows you to use.
What do you make of the decision to start Garnacho from the bench and play him only 19 minutes while Messi Mount did whatever he did for 7 minutes?
When I saw the lineup, I think for like 2 years now I've not commented on United lineup because it doesn't matter who starts or not.
Everybody is just bad.
Yes. However, there is something people don't know. They keep slating Garnacho for his finishing. I believe that's the only grey area Garnacho has now, and it will come. Do you understand? But what that guy brings to the team is the threat. If you go and look at it, most of our goal scoring chances, like he's the one who gets on it. Yeah, so he's the guy who disturbs people.
Yeah, even that one when he came on in the second.
Yes, from start to finish. So that alone keeps the defense busy. Do you get? So when I saw it, I just laughed because for you to go into this game, and I don't want to call it bias, because Amorim came into Manchester United even without training Mount. Mount was injured. He started professing love. I love this kid. And then he had issue with the guy who actually scored 3 goals. Yes, now like person never play for you. You don't really fall in love. He don't show you anything. He has not shown you anything.
I see why coaches like Messi Mount. I
don't see it.
I get it.
That guy is a premium O2. I'm serious. Before we signed him, it was quite clear. I think that's the one player we've signed that was not playing anything before we paid money for him, before the club paid anything. That is one guy that was not in any sort of form. Because if you look at every other player, they were doing well in their respective clubs before we played and brought them. But Mount, nothing. And then we dashed Chelsea 60 million.
I could not be more grateful as the Chelsea.
Do you get?
So, for Havertz.
Even the Havertz one was slightly less surprising than Mount.
I'm telling you.
Havertz still had like 2 or 3 years left for the
Mount was 1 year.
And they paid 60 million.
So when you analyze it, there was nothing in our first 11 that Mount was going to fix. There was, even as I speak to you, going forward, if that man believes that Mount is who is going to use in the first 11, bro, we might be playing with Bristol City next season.
The funny thing is, I actually like agree that Manchester United should not have signed Mount when they did this, because especially as they had Bruno Fernandes. But in Amorim's system as it is now, Mount is better for the system than Garnacho.
Do you see it?
No, he played well yesterday.
Do you see it?
No, because like in his front three, the two players that flank the centre forward, they are not wide men. They play on the half space. That is where Mount is the most devastating. And Garnacho is famously not good on the inside. He's better when he has to hold width and take on his player. I mean, I get it, and I don't like when we judge a fish by how he knows how to climb tree, and it's not fair on Garnacho playing him in that system.
And I'm telling you that he's not even the second. He's not even close to second in that same half space.
Right.
I mean, we have Bruno there. We'll have Ericsson.
I'm
These
saying
are
that
guys
Bruno
that are
should
far
play.
better.
If Bruno is not playing,
I'm saying Bruno. Like that's why I'm surprised that he's not even playing Bruno.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I think we did it. For the rest of this correction, check out Man U TV if you are interested. And actually, before we move on from Man U.
Wow.
Yeah, because we should have done this.
Just go ahead. Just go ahead.
There's a reason we have a rundown. I'll go to ask Joba because Joba has been awfully quiet. And
He's
Is that about trends?
no, it's not about trends. It's not about trends. But it's like, I think it's
enough.
it can relate to the trend. After the game, still on Garnacho, but after the game, Garnacho, first of all, his brother, which I don't know why footballers' brothers are just always very vocal.
Sister.
But his brother first working as no one else, helping every round, coming from 2 goals, last 2 finals, just to be on the pitch 19 minutes and get thrown under the bus. Wow, with an E. Never seen that before. And then, very violently. And then Garnacho himself after the game, until the final, I played every round helping the team. Then the final arrives and I played 20 minutes. I don't know. The final, the season, the whole situation of the club, I will try to enjoy the summer and we'll see what happens. As someone that has recently, gone through player departure trauma.
Please don't compare Garnacho with Trent.
I'm not comparing Garnacho. But like, is this something to say after losing the final?
I think, to be honest, Man U brought this upon themselves because they gave players like too much power, especially during the transition. I mean, it started from the Mourinho days. They gave Marcus Rashford, Pogba too much power, and I think that's the reason why Garnacho can come out and say, because in my opinion, I think Garnacho is actually overrated. I don't see what Izu sees in the guy.
It's also a 21-year-old.
That says
Come on.
I mean, Lamine Yamal is 18.
Okay.
And how many Lamine Yamal
Lamine Yamal is 18. And Garnacho has been playing regular football for over 2 seasons right now. And you could see when he gets on the ball, he's actually frustrating to watch.
Fantastic. What was Mosala doing at 20?
Look at what Amorim's response also. Amorim said he said something about Garnacho was there and
in the last game
and he missed a couple of chances.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't see a way back for him, just like Faruq said. He just doesn't fit into Amorim's system. So, and he has been linked to Chelsea recently. So probably
I wouldn't mind it. The Garnacho thing led to Izu's point is gives me this Chelsea conundrum as well. The choice of two evils, but which one do you prefer? In Jackson and Nkunku. Jackson plays in a way that when Jackson is on the pitch, chances, there's a reason Jackson makes so many chances because he moves better, he disturbs defense a lot, and he will create chances for himself and other people, but we just that the chances will not be converted because it's Jackson. But Nkunku, who is in theory a better finisher, never gets chances because it's just so like, it's a case of I would much rather have the guy that will not score, but at least will give me some action.
My own is that see what Garnacho's family members are tweeting now. You people that will say don't sign Osimhen because United pay and Tifa will tweet this and that. You people that see what other people
we are beating the United us and there's still more beating for them over over the summer. So let their fans, our commiserations. This is a safe space.
No, it's not. No comments.
Congratulations to Tottenham once again.
I'm not
Congratulations
disturbed
to
by
Heung-min Son.
the results.
Yeah. And we saw all the young men,
Shout out to you. You made me laugh so hard.
It was fun. It was fun. I have to give it to you guys. And this episode was 45. It's going to be named Young Men Paul according to
Congratulations to Arsenal fans also. I mean, not London rivals.
Nigerian fans
We just came in Europe that did not win the trophy.
Speaking of trophies, do we want to talk about City or just more?
Congratulations, Crystal Palace.
And to Izu as well.
And to Izuchukwu.
By the way, your team cost me money. On Wednesday night, I put money on United to score in the second half, and it was 2-1. Significant sum of money.
Score actually because
The FA Cup final, I volunteered to give him money to bet.
You know better.
You told him the team that will win, the player that will score. Wow. It would have been such a big win.
Congratulations.
But if you are betting on Manchester United in
congratulations
2025,
the left side of the couch is the Pep side of the couch. So, at what point do we start calling him a fraud? If ever.
maybe when he's at Fenerbahce not winning trophies, then we can start to call him.
Wow! When is that Fenerbahce?
Not winning trophies.
I mean, if you want to use trophies, you shouldn't use someone like
Why you gonna go
Oh boy, this one enter. This one enter.
You are not helping the joke. This explanation I'm trying to explain.
just say, like, for comparing it with the manager
You explain
that's
that.
won, like over 25 trophies. Come on now. Come on.
I don't understand. He said, when will they call him a fraud?
So
You say when he's at Fenerbahce.
as
not winning trophies.
Totally illogical. We cannot call the person that just finished winning 4 Premier League titles.
You can take a break.
because he not win one.
You can take a break to build the team.
Yeah, but do City fans have serious source of concern though? Like, does this get better? This is the start of a new
No, I don't think they should worry much. I mean, who would they? I don't think there's anybody out there that they are going to bring that will give them hope like Pep. Do you understand? So I think Pep is at a spot where we'll say with Fergie, maybe within 3 years or 4 years, the team will need a little bit of a touch. He will retouch it again, and during that time, he would go without maybe winning much. He will just probably get a cup or this thing. But what should be constant is the Champions League plays. So if Pep over the next two years can still get the Champions League and then restructure the team, get it to be younger, they should be fine. But if they want to help everybody in the league by sacking Pep, we won't mind.
So all I hear that City have to spend another 400 to 500 million because they already spent 200 million.
Pep Guardiola is a locking person.
I don't know about luck. United has spent 1.5 million.
Yes.
I'd say
Do you understand? So the truth is, Pep most times justifies the money.
Yeah.
If there is one person that they
That's
should be
proving
spending
that
money-
you should
Yeah,
give him
I mean,
money.
look at Mamouche. He's doing it. So even Nunes, that has not really played in midfield, is doing it from right back. What's his name? Guardiola is doing it from. I call Guardiola a winger right now. So most times this man has actually shown that if there's one person who will justify the money you are spending, he's the one. He's just one person that you can spend on. So there is nothing to worry about. Every other person, he's the only. He didn't ask a state to buy City. He's just there. You get. And I don't think of any other manager you can get to that place that can even justify that sort of money. I don't think of anybody.
I think we have to apply a bit of context. First of all, there's not really much to worry about because they have very clear issues that it's not like what is going with them is that puzzling that you don't understand it. They have clear off-the-ball issues that can easily be solved with personnel or just a little bit of more time in training, which they've not had. Because one thing people forget is that Manchester City have played the most football in the last 3 seasons of any football club. Like there was a season Rodri played up to 70 games or so. So they've played so much and there's clear fatigue. and they've struggled with injuries. And when you say they spent 200 million, I mean they bought Kodji Abdul Kodji. They bought Kusanov and Rice. I mean, it is clear that those are signings for the future. Those two players are not going to help you this season, and Mamouche was clearly overpriced. So, and they've lost Mahrez, they've lost
Alvarez.
Yeah, they lost pretty important players that they simply did not.
Or they chased them away.
No, I don't think they chased them away. They just do not.
Same way they are losing KDB now.
That's
Yeah?
okay, that's right.
30,
Yeah, that's
34 years.
That's
Come
right.
on.
So yeah,
KDB is crying every interview. I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that.
It's nice
I
that
can
he
still
wants
deliver.
to. It's nice that he wants to stay at Manchester City, but the facts and the numbers are there. Over the last 3 seasons, he's barely played.
You can't say that and then employ Gundogan.
Hey, they don't rely on Gundogan the same way. Gundogan is not among their highest earning players.
Yeah, then leave Gundogan.
He
Let KDB
Not
be.
compared to- not
No, since he
compared
came
to-
back,
not
he's
compared to- not compared
probably
to-
came back on a lower contract.
And not compared to De Bruyne.
I mean,
either.
I still saw like the list of
De Bruyne is-
top 20.
De Bruyne is only-
in
only-
the Premier League.
Gundogan is
He's still there.
Only 2 players in the whole Premier League earn more than De Bruyne.
Yeah, I know.
So the salary difference is
and it's not
is
just even
enough.
the pay, it's the, like you said, relying on him. Now they are in the market for Florian Wirtz. You don't sign Florian Wirtz when you have De Bruyne at home.
You
It's
can
just-
sign Vlahovic and have 34-year-old De Bruyne because you play.
Yeah,
thing
but
is,
you
but
still have to
still
pay
want to
him
play.
as the highest paid player.
And he will
in
still want to
Premier
play.
League.
He's not going to. He's not going to because this guy
So
is
what
young, right?
what I'm hearing now is that the oil state-backed team cannot afford to pay KDB.
It's
Are
not
we going to
about-
cry
it's not-
Brooklyn?
no,
I mean,
Oil-backed
and I
team.
don't think-
What is one more
afford
charge
him.
to make it 116?
It's not a matter of being able to afford him. It's whether it's the right thing to
Do you think KDB will probably maybe say, I want the same salary?
Yeah, it's probably going to Napoli, and Napoli are definitely not going to pay him the same salary.
Because Napoli is not Manchester City. Napoli is not the club where he has won the Champions League. Their first ever.
I don't
Like,
think-
Manchester City cannot.
Napoli
even
is not the
dare
first-
to tell him to-
Every summer, they offer Luka Modric one video maker 100 euros. And he accepts it
That's ended now,
because
hasn't it?
he doesn't want to pay.
That's ended.
Luka
Now
Modric-
they refuse to give him the video milk. They only gave him the
Luka
chocolate.
Modric would have paid to play
Yeah,
for them.
actually,
saying
live report now. He's leaving Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Congratulations to everybody involved. But I'm saying that if I'm sure the brother is sensible enough to understand that
Yeah,
he's
exactly. You
declining,
can't
and
be
he
that
probably will not
sensible.
be that guy anymore for City,
Again.
but he can still play. But that's what he keeps saying. He has never said I'm still the same. The brother he keeps reiterating that I believe I can still play a part for this team, but the team just do not. They just want to move on, say we'll go.
Which is why not? Why shouldn't they move on from someone who is this old and he's clearly shown that he's injury prone?
You wasting on the brother.
As how?
Let's move on.
Fake passport man.
Let's move on to Rockla, to the Stadion Taziski Arena. The important European final. Rockla. He was a me pronunciation. You don't study this one. Faruq, I saw you for this preview. Real Madrid versus Chelsea. How important is this to you, and what are you expecting?
Fake Real Betis gimmick.
I mean, yeah, it is important because it's a trophy, and we are not a club that wins that many
What's
trophies.
that?
So I'm not going to 2021 Copa del Rey.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it has not even been that long. So you can't even add us to the number of clubs that we are not going to probably get.
Have you
that
guys
long.
won an European trophy before?
No, we've not. We've only won one La Liga, and that was before the Second World War. So, I'm not even going to pretend like it's not important. It's going to be a big deal if we do win it, especially as our rivals are the most successful team in the Europa League. So, it will be good to win this one. But yeah, we've already claimed Europa League qualification, so it's just winning it for the sake of the trophy. Just sucks that we have to do it against the strongest team in the competition, and Chelsea are the type of team we struggle to beat the most. A team that is also young and exciting. We struggle against those type of teams because we are not a team that has grit. We are not the type of teams that are back against the wall, will make it hard for them. We also want to play them on the front foot, and we simply do not have as much talented players as Chelsea. So, I'm hoping we do win, and I'm hoping it's just going to say Real Betis will win. Maybe luck will shine on us. Yeah, but if I was made to put my money on it, I don't think I'm that confident to bet on Betis, to be honest.
Calm down. Chelsea are not even thinking about the game.
I think
Nottingham Forest.
from a Chelsea perspective, the next two games are must wins. If you look at it, beat Nottingham Forest, playing Champions League, and also win the Conference League. Because if you don't win the Conference League, then it is a monumental failure.
Yeah.
No matter how any Chelsea fan tries to make you feel, we don't care, nonchalant. Chelsea came into this competition. Pronounced as winners the minute they drop into the competition.
They need to Manchester United. If you do,
so if you do not win this competition that you have absolutely everybody has given you from the start, and you don't win it at the first sight of a decent team.
Is the Forest game before the final?
Yes. So, the first game is on Sunday. And speaking of that,
I saw a tweet. Someone tweeted yesterday saying, I don't call for people, I'm going to go straight to Rock Club for Poland. I thought we agreed that we are stopping our Forest, not our fair.
Yeah, because I asked.
It's watching, is it? Because
I asked because if it was before, I probably would say that Chelsea might not really pay attention to that. But if Chelsea should get Champions League from the league against Forest, they might now decide to go full strength against Reverses.
they will go full strength in both games. Let me tell you that one. They will go full strength as possible.
I saw something today. Is the year of the Beds, and the Beds have changed their flag.
I mean, Google wears Super Eagles color, so
yeah. So and they have a goat.
Speaking of the final day fixtures in the Premier League, on Sunday, everything Premier League title is secured. So, and we now recently learned that Liverpool's title does not count because they cannot reach Arsenal's 86. So,
bro, I have serious issues with that fan base, man. I have serious issues.
But speaking of Arsenal, I think they've secured second place as well.
Yeah.
Secured, so third year in a row. Just keep at it. City.
They are doing well.
City still drop out.
Yes.
City, City
They need a point to.
They need a point at
Fulham.
away at Fulham.
And Fulham have nothing to play for.
Fulham have nothing to play for, but that's
I feel like those are even the worst games
To play.
because when the opponent doesn't have something to play for.
It will be masterclass.
For some reason, they just decide to be spoilers. I remember Dortmund against Mainz in the final Bundesliga.
Maybe Iwobi will spoil it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Chelsea of course face Nottingham Forest, which is a pretty important game. Pretty much winner takes all, but Chelsea can still advance to the draw depending on results from other games.
Yeah.
Aston Villa go away to Manchester United, so it depends on what kind
No,
of
that
Manchester
is 20th defeat for Amorim.
It depends on what kind of Manchester United they face.
There is no Manchester United they are facing.
No. Most likely they face Man United that are defeated and season is over. Or they might face a Man United that's
Tunde, there is no United they face that will not lose that game.
2 straight games in the league this season at all. Like
We've not. When was the last time we
when
beat?
Manchester United wins a game, their fans already know. Say, oh,
The next one. So Villa are going
They
to.
want to
No.
in the
In all competitions. Okay.
I'm talking about.
We've not done in the league. I can't remember our last win in the Premier League. I think that was January.
They've not won 2 consecutive games this season.
Oh, okay.
Like Man United have not won today and they won next time they played.
You go win now because
So what's the way now? As the next you also kind of know that.
The next one at best.
Villa needs a point, and they are going. They need a win. So
they can still qualify with a point, but they need
if we concede just 2 in that game, then we don't improve.
So looking forward to that. Relegation is sorted. So does Crystal Palace clinching the Europa League through the FA Cup, does it affect 7th place or does everybody qualify at once? Because I know
7th place goes to Conference League.
Yeah, but the way it used to work before is when somebody takes a qualification spot through the cup, whoever was supposed to get through the league is
No. It doesn't affect 7th place this time because England already has 5 clubs in the Champions League.
Yeah, England has 5 in the Champions League now. Then that means you have 2 in
one in the
nobody's going to the
Europa
Conference
League.
League.
No, 1 in the Europa League, the 1 in the Conference League.
No, nobody's going to the Conference League.
Yeah.
It's 3 teams that are going to the Europa League.
No, not 3 teams. There is you can have a maximum of I think 8 teams right now.
There are 9 teams. 9 teams are guaranteed to go in.
Yeah.
I think Spurs are going to listen to.
Spurs are going to the
I think
Champions
Spurs are going to
So
Champions League.
6 teams. 6 teams. So you can't have more than 1 team in the Europa League.
No.
Yeah,
It's Conference League, you can't have more than 1.
No, you can't have more than 1 team in the Europa League, which is
You can have more than
It's
1
Conference League.
Europa League is usually
I'm talking about right now because they have a maximum of 6 teams in the Champions League.
Okay, now I want team from the league.
You understand? Because they have a maximum of 6 teams in the Champions League.
So
it
it's
should have
6-1-1.
been, it should have been 2 teams in the Europa League. But because Spurs qualified for the Champions League, that means England are going to have 6 teams. So they can only have 1 team
In the
Europa League.
So that means
and
Crystal
then
Palace takes that.
1 team in the Conference League. However, if Chelsea wins the Conference League and they finish outside the top 7 places, so that's the only way they can also have like
Okay,
another.
let us go with the scenario that I want, which is that Chelsea wins the Europa League and also still qualifies in the top 5. So that means it's going to be 6 in Champions League, then
1 in the Europa League and 1 in the Conference League.
Crystal Palace in the Europa League. That means 6 qualifies for Conference League instead of
No, 6
Europa
will
League.
qualify for the Europa League.
No, the Crystal Palace is already in the Europa League now. If it's only
FA
one.
Cup.
No, Crystal
Okay,
Palace.
along with Crystal Palace. Okay, so that's the point. That's the point that 7 still qualifies for Europe.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure that Nottingham Forest are not missing out. That's the point.
They've already seen.
qualified,
Yeah, they've
for
already
Europe.
seen. But it would be a shame if they qualify for
How is that a shame?
Conference League.
How is that? If you go from almost
17th,
last
from
year,
17th.
Considering
This
what
season that they
like what
They were
they
over
really punched above their
their
weight.
weight, yes.
And you should, that's why
Was
I
clear.
was somewhat unhappy with the, well, even though they later clarified that that's not what he was angry about. But for Marinakis complaint about
Outburst.
outburst.
No, I think at the end of the day, even if you were punching above your weight at the start of the season, at some point in the season, your expectations will start to change.
So Leicester should have been disappointed with him in the Premier League.
Yes.
No, I think
It's the same thing.
question.
Okay, interesting that you should
Croatia
mention.
won the-
Sorry, interesting that you should mention Leicester. There were times when Leicester would be in the top 4 in the Premier League, and then on the last day or penultimate day, they would drop to the 5th.
Yeah.
And of course, they were disappointed, even though naturally you would never expect Leicester to be there.
No, that is like the logic of when your big dog hang out with your own. So like, our tasters.
Also, first are one of the big spenders in Premier. I think in the past 2 or 3 seasons, only Chelsea has outspent them. So you can understand
They signed the old team up.
I mean, like they knew that the
Yes, sir.
PSR punishment was coming. They beat the charge, and they knew that. I mean, it was a risk. They are hoping, they are betting on our team is going to be good enough, and if worst comes to the worst, we sacrifice 1 season and it's working. So.
Alright, congratulations everybody involved. We'll be here to, of course, talk about what happens in the Premier League. Also, so we have everybody's final day. We'll review the season in the next episode. Still sticking with Premier League though. Player of the season nominees. I wish we had more time to really dive into. Probably discuss who should make it and who should next week. But the nominees are Morgan Gibbs White. Funny. Ryan
Why is that
Gravenberch,
funny?
also very funny. Alexander Isak, Brian Mbeumo, Declan Rice, Mohamed Salah, Virgil van Dijk, and Christopher Wood.
It's not. When making it is not more important
Yeah, that's what I was
than Gibbs
saying.
White making it.
You're not surprised that Mbeumo is there, but you're surprised that Gibbs White is
Why
there.
would I be surprised that Mbeumo?
Because you can count goals with your hand. Like Gibbs White is the most important player for the Nottingham Forest we just spoke about now.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's quite literally is their best player.
Okay, wow. I don't talk, okay, when I don't talk wow again. You right on wow.
Is Palmer there?
Palmer is a young player of the year.
Wow. 25.
I mean, I think Saliba is there as well.
No, I
I
think they need to like properly define
No,
what that
there's
is.
one.
He's probably
There's an
24
old.
years
There's an old.
24 is too old for young player.
nowadays, but it did not
Nowadays.
used to be that old.
Yeah, okay, for young player of the year, nominees right.
Steady the game nominees.
Leon Delap is nominated with his 12 goals. Anthony Elanga,
I like clients.
Anthony Elanga, Ryan Gravenberch, Dean Oisin, who congratulations to him, we learned his
Oisin.
And he has already produced one of the greatest banter ever. Saddam Oisin. Which is hilarious. Obama is there.
He should try not to put disaster class.
João Pedro and Morgan Rogers. William Saliba.
Yeah, Williams.
I really don't know what Premier League clubs are smoking. João Pedro is on the market for 70 million. Like,
And no one is interested.
Anyway, for the manager of the year awards, Vitor Pereira, who was signed at the same time as United signed.
No.
He came at the same time.
Amorim came before him.
In fairness, I don't think he should have been nominated.
Why not? He did a superb
You
job.
know why? I mean, Wolves could have had any who is the worst manager found the ball, and they will still have
That's
survived.
not true.
Yes.
Joba,
Who did they sack?
Because
Who did they
Leicester,
sack?
I mean, before the beginning of the season, Leicester and Southampton and Ipswich were dead sats.
Joba, Wolves under Pereira played 20 games, won 10, drew 2.
That's fair.
Like, come on, that's it. That's the number.
What are the
Of course. And the slots, Eddie Howe, Thomas Frank.
In comparison,
Amorim.
Amorim has 6 in 6 months.
It's 26
Yeah, anyway.
One per month. One win per month.
I think there's a new dance out. All our producers are doing this game.
So you guys are now supporting skills. Skills.
Anyway, before we are about to go, I promise we're about to go. But before we do, we have to talk about Super Eagles. We're not really talking about it, just like there's 2 new squad lists have been released for the
Unity Cup.
and the friendly against Russia. That's the, I'll go say something about that.
Please, keep it peaceful, please.
Anyway, so the 2 squad lists for the Unity Cup, starting with Baliman Kawakoyi and Amaso Basogi and goalkeepers, defenders are Bruno Yemachi, Shemi Ajayi, Igor Ogu, Ifeanyi Oyebuchi, Junior Lucas, Sadiq Ismail, Wali Ojetwe, and Felix Agu. Emefield, Wilfred Ndifran Koyeka, Crisantos Uche, the debutants, Papa Mustafa, Benson, Collins Ugweze, Savio Isaac. I will tell us what this guy done in the next episode. Samuel Chukwueze, Moses Simon, Kelechi, and Acho again. Nessan Tella, Cyril Desas, Tolu Arukudari, Musa Ahmed.
Igbo names.
Sigiru Alimi, Abubakar Adamu. For the friendly against Russia, which I call this the dispensing loss. This for me, I would have been my losing. I'm joking. Maluka is there as well. If you not call me since, but you can't call me for the game against Russia, I would be skeptical. I probably will not come. But Abbas again, with the Postecoglou, you go bright aside, some of Bruno Yemachi, Shemi Ajayi, if you go for the Frank Onyeka, Crisantos Uche again, Papa Mustafa, Fisal Deli Bashiru, and Raphael Onyediga. The forwards are Samuel Chukwueze, Moses Simon, Kelechi and Acho again, Nessan Tella, Victor Boniface, Tolu Arukudari, and Sadiq Umar. So, congratulations to everybody involved. Probably break it down.
No Osimhen on that list.
No Osimhen on that list.
on break.
The reason Puja gives is that the Turkish league still runs until June 1st. So,
I think it's even good, saying without Osimhen, don't
No
do
Lookman also. No.
Let's find a
basically,
solution.
so the players we can't afford to lose.
Let's find a solution.
But yeah,
Canada using 80% of their own based domestic players.
good for them. Good for them. Hopefully,
Easier to
everybody-
beat them.
No, hopefully everybody goes back home. When they're supposed to. Anyway, we have to go. Congratulations very much stars who carried out their trophy parade or like anything we've ever seen.
Don't say it.
NWFL also have new champions by SR Twins.
Twins, yeah.
Imagine as I will be represented us on the continent. And
Fantastic.
congratulations to the under 20 team as well, winning bronze medal. Can we even call that congratulations? Whatever it is.
They tried.
They qualified for the World
Could
Cup.
have won, but
I don't know, we have to go, but Ayoola, help us with fun facts.
Alright, fun fact. Let's see. Did you know that only one team in the history of football has never lost to Brazil, having played them?
Nigeria.
Yeah.
Wow, where Brazil beat us?
Nigeria beat Brazil.
The team, of course, is Norway, who have played Brazil at the World Cup several times and are still yet to lose.
How many times is several?
Several.
No.
Did they play in 1998?
Yes, they did. Norway won.
Norway won or
Yeah.
they played 2-2?
I don't think but I can't remember. But I think.
But this is, first of all, neither fun, nor even a very factor. Because you clearly don't know what I'm talking about. You don't have your facts straight.
But what's the fact? Norway have not lost to Brazil.
Tell me where Brazil beat
What's
Nigeria.
the
Where did Brazil beat Nigeria?
in senior football? 3-0 in Abuja.
Oh, for it.
What are you talking about?
Damn.
At the opening of the Abuja Stadium, we beat Nigeria 3-0.
No, we cannot count down.
Why can't you count it?
That's accounting the one that we beat against that format. Those are
It's in the record now.
not.
Why don't you count it?
Now we actually beat Brazil at the World Cup 1998, France 98.
Anyway, thank you very much. We have to go. Thank you very much for sticking with us. For those of you that watch on YouTube and listen on Spotify, this is brought to you by Paul Sports, by the studio, Izu, Joba, Faruq, Ayoola. Hopefully next week we'll have better fun facts for you.
Share, please. If you are watching but you're not sharing, you being greedy, share. Listen, takes like 2 seconds.
Alright,
Share.
so I'll ask you the very much more polite way because I was raised.
Share!
I'll just raise better. Please, if you like what you're watching, let the algorithm know by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Until next time. Bye.